I've run my business. I'm a spiritual teacher and a life longevity expert, and I've run it for 15 years on law of attraction. I have a flip phone. I don't have an iPhone. I don't have a website. People come to me because of the energy I put out.
Yeah.
So
this law of attraction is quite a network.
Huge.
Yeah.
Never ending. And people just walk up to me and say, why are you happy?
And the nice thing about coming into alignment with who you are is that because it's quite a network, which makes it sound like it has the potential to be overwhelming, it isn't, as long as your own energy is balanced. Whatever you're wanting comes to you to your degree of being able to receive the full satisfaction from it. In other words, if too much comes all at once, you get overwhelmed. If not enough comes, you feel deprived. But when you get the hang of this steady balance,
Yes, I've been meditating for years, every day. And it's part of the program that I tell my clients that they can never learn to release the struggle with themselves, with any addiction, food, or anything, until they meditate. So I've always been happy, but I was exhausted. And recently I went to the doctor, and he said, Laurie, you're 50, but your life longevity age is 35 on the basis of what you've accomplished with eating and meditation and everything. And he said, but there's no physical reason for why you should have been able to achieve this with your body. And I said, I did it on law of attraction. And he said, when we give you some bioidentical hormones, you're going to be 25. And so I recently did that, and life is so fun. Like all my energy, I have 20-year-old energy with my wisdom now. And so I have so much fun.
But before you go further, we really want to talk about being exhausted, because being exhausted, we know that doctors can find reasons of ways that they want to feed you. But we also know that when you are really in alignment with who you are, that your body can find ways to feed you from what you are already experiencing. And so anytime you are exhausted, it always means the same thing. There's resistance within you. There is no exception to that. But more important, it means, and we know that you know this, more important it means, if you are exhausted, it means that you're giving out more than you're taking in. And the physician's assumption is you're giving out more biologically than you're taking in. And so therefore he needs to fuel you more with all of that. And we have no opposition to any of that. But we want you to take the same concept and realize that if you are not in the replenishing mode while you are helping others, that you do find that depletion. It's a vibrational depletion. And that's why we talk all day about this vibrational balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is on a completely different subject. I also work with children. What are ghosts? I have a lot of children that I work with, and they'll say they can see a ghost. But if the soul leaves the body, when someone goes into spirit, what's a ghost?
We really appreciated the first part of the conversation.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We really want you to take all of that with you.
Okay.
Because that's the predominant reason that you lit up for us. And so that's what your question was.
Okay.
And that answer is what you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yes, there is fuel of a physical nature, but there's this non-physical energy fuel. And you are so good at doing both. Esther does it too. You get out of balance because you get in this attitude of serving others before you are following your impulse for your own best interest. So we just want you to really hear that.
I hear you say, take more time to replenish myself.
To satisfy yourself. Because while it is satisfying to serve others, satisfying others is not the same as satisfying your own impulses, because every impulse for satisfying yourself is not about serving others, and you've kind of got it turned around that way. And Esther too, it's almost like she won't let herself do something unless it's meaningful to others. And we say, that's not what you're here for. You're here to find satisfaction, and you have broad ranges of things that are important to you, not just that. That could even be the most important thing. It could even be 10 times more important than everything else put together, but it is not the only thing. So ghosts.
Okay.
Everyone who has been physical and reemerged into non-physical, we said this earlier, still very interested in what you're about. All of us are very interested in what you're about. So while you are out here in your manifested moment, we are focused upon you too. Children especially, because they are not all bogged down with beliefs that keep them from seeing. They often are translating that energy visually, and that's what they're seeing. Someone on the cruise recently said that she had bumped her head And after she bumped her head, she could see things that she had not been able to see before. She said, for example, who's that standing next to Esther? And we said, it's Jerry. He comes every time. He comes every time. Others come. In other words, anybody who sees energy has undoubtedly seen more energy on this stage than just what is around Esther. Non-physical is really, really interested. We're asking Esther not to shout because our enthusiasm is very high on this comment. This leading edge where you all are is where it's all happening. This is so interesting. There is so much enthusiasm. People are watching their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren and their great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. And scientists are watching the new ones and songwriters are watching the new ones. In other words, there's all kinds of things that non-physical is keenly, poignantly interested in, that they are focused upon you all doing. There's clusters of energy around you all the time. You see,
Okay.
That's what they're seeing.
Okay, last question. So if my grandfather has crossed over or transcended into spirit, and then I could feel him and communicate with him, but then at some point, doesn't he choose to reincarnate, and then he would come back into another body?
But remember what we were saying earlier, that you are an extension of this non-physical energy.
Right.
And this non-physical energy, when you reemerge into the non-physical, you are multidimensional. You have the capacity for all of that. After Jerry made his transition, Esther got so many letters from so many people that Jerry was talking to them about that and talking to them about that and talking to them about that. And Esther said, you're really a busy person. You're in so many places. And not once did she feel, don't go with them, come only with me. This non-physical energy has the capacity to focus simultaneously in many, many, many different places.
That's so incomprehensible.
Well, you know what?
What?
It's not incomprehensible
Okay.
when you are really tuned in any moment. We want to explain something that's just happening here. This person is really often tuned into this source energy that we're talking about. Right now, while she's asking a question to which she doesn't know the answer, she's not in the receptive mode of the answer. Therefore, our answer, brilliant, accurate answer, is incomprehensible to her.
It totally makes me giggle.
But when you get into the receptive mode, then it's not only not incomprehensible, it's so comprehensible as you're living it and feeling it and knowing it. At first, when someone makes what you think is their departure, because your belief is that they're gone, you don't let their presence be known to yourself. Esther suffered so mightily once Jerry made his transition. And one night she is saying, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And then later, when she had settled down and was back into alignment, we were able to say to her, Esther, you must look where Jerry is, not where he isn't. Non-physical is different than physical. You have to tune yourself to see it differently. And when you're missing, you're not ever going to find it. And we know from a physical format that feels just unfair. Well, when I need it, I can't have it. And when I don't need it, I can have it. We say pretty much.
Pretty much.
That's why we're trying to talk you out of being needy and into finding a way to be satisfied. Because if you can find a way to be satisfied about this or that or this or that or this or that, then whatever you want can come to you. Yes.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Really good.